Is this thing working? Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show today. How are you, James?
I'm awesome. How's it going?
It's going awesome. Man, as I'm over here clicking my lips and everything. Can you hear it?
Raining like cats and dogs outside.
Yeah, it is. It's rained for days, it seems like. Then it'll stop a day. Then it'll rain another day. We're really starting to flood here in East Texas.
Yeah, since Sunday night, we've had some pretty rough storms blow through here, too.
Right. Yeah. But it is spring. April showers bring May flowers. Maybe it'll stop any day now. But let's welcome our sponsor for today's show, Pure Hemp Botanical. And we appreciate them so much for sponsoring the show. And you have asked, and they have answered. They have new improved sleep gummies without melatonin. So you can go to purehempbotanicals.com or click the link below, and you will find you can shop for deals and learn about their CBD, and you can contact them. So just click the link below.
All right, well, let's get this show rolling then. Welcome to the show, everybody. I want you to all just remember that our opinions are our own. Our assertions are our own.
That's true. Just ours.
Yep. And we just, again, encourage you to please share the show with your friends, stomp that like button, and follow Is This Thing Working on all platforms. You can find us on all platforms. And please check out our website, www.is-this-thing-working.com. And also to remind you, hey, we go live every Monday through Friday on Rumble, Getter, and Facebook. So be the first to hear where the breaking news of the day, as well as our analysis on the current polarized political environment that we have raging across America right now. We teach you every day to be informed and how to become engaged.
Yes, we do. Here we are. For example, we're going to start with today, Trump, who's back in court.
Hush money trial. Judge Juan Merchan ruling that Trump violated his gag order, fining him a total of $9,000. Merchan writes this: unfortunately, we cannot charge Trump more. But one small victory for Trump, he'll be allowed to attend his son Barron's high school graduation on May 17th. Trump responding to reporters after the proceedings yesterday. Watch this.
This gag order is not only unique, it's totally unconstitutional. I'm the Republican candidate for President of the United States, and they have me sitting here for a Biden trial. It's a Biden trial.
AG, you sat front row in court with President Trump yesterday. Tell us what you saw, your reaction.
Perversion of justice. I think your last guess was partially right. She said that there's a two-tier justice system, but it's not just that the bad guys, Joe Biden, who acknowledged, I mean, they've said he committed a crime. Hillary Clinton, Hunter Biden, they're not prosecuted. On the other hand, President Trump, who's never been a criminal in his life, suddenly is being prosecuted in 4 different states, including New York, right before an election. This sounds much more like something that would happen in Venezuela or China or Russia, not in a constitutional republic. This is tyrannical, and to stop him from speaking out and defending himself and keep him from basically campaigning, I think is hard to believe, and I hope the American people do not put up with this.
I wish there was something we could do.
Yeah.
I mean, this lawfare is out of control, and even our AG here in Texas, Ken Paxton, you know, he's really the only one that's stepping and standing up behind President Trump.
Yeah.
You know, and I call this the blackmail court, not the hush money court, because, you know, that just gives it a label that, you know, this is false. Everything. There is not a crime.
No, this is a kangaroo court. Most definitely. Yeah.
You know, so we need to, President Trump is back in blackmail court today. He came out with a statement this morning talking about the economy, which is what's on everybody's mind right now. You know, so that we really need him back in office. Yes, we do. So he can save America. And also Ken Paxton, as we're talking about him, he is always on the offensive. And I love that about him. And that's why I'm a fangirl.
Right
here in Texas, you know, we have the best attorney general in America. And we just do, you know, and he has partnered with Utah, Louisiana, and Missouri to sue the ATF. Yeah, Attorney General, I have his statement, his press release, and it says AG Ken Paxton leads multi-state coalition suing Biden administration over unlawful ban on private firearm sales. He is leading this coalition, which includes, like I said, Louisiana, Missouri, and Utah, to sue the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives of the U.S. Department of Justice for unlawfully attempting to abridge Americans' constitutional right to privately buy and sell firearms. In the past, he says, Congress deliberately recognized the legality of private sales of firearms by non-dealers, going so far as to narrow the statutory definition of dealer to prevent the ATF from unlawfully suppressing the private transfer of firearms. Nevertheless, on April 19, 2024, the ATF published a new regulation that would subject hundreds of thousands of law-abiding gun owners to presumptions of criminal guilt for engaging in the constitutionally protected private sale of firearms.
Once again, here we can bring up the weaponization of the government. Man, we keep pounding this point home to everybody. We've got to continue to open our eyes and recognize when these kind of things begin to happen, we've got to stand up with our AGs that are helping protect us and to help keep our civil rights where they need to be. And just like with this, I agree with AG Ken Paxton. He speaks out. He says, yet again, Joe Biden is weaponizing the federal bureaucracy to rip up the Constitution and destroy our citizens' Second Amendment rights. This is a dramatic escalation of his tyrannical abuse of authority. With today's lawsuit, it's my great honor to defend our constitutionally protected freedoms from an out-of-control federal government.
And they are out of control. They have totally taken our Constitution and refused to go by it, for one thing.
Completely
and
ignored it.
changing all laws to subject you, the people, against the government.
Hey, maybe during Trump's State of the Union, remember when Nancy Pelosi stood up and she ripped the paper in half and all of that?
I do.
Maybe that wasn't symbolic of ripping up his State of the Union address. Maybe that was symbolic of ripping up the Constitution.
You know, that was. That was a lot of people said that.
Yeah.
That's why it became really big.
Yeah.
You know, because that was what she was doing. And that's what they all have been doing by going after President Trump like
Sure.
they have, ripping up the Constitution. Even when he was president,
Yeah.
they did that.
Well, Ken Paxton is fighting this fight, and he's not alone, just like what you've talked about the other states' attorney generals. Utah Attorney General Sean Reyes said, nearly 40 years ago, Congress condemned the ATF for targeting innocent gun owners instead of focusing on felons, calling ATF's actions reprehensible. Congress even changed the law to limit ATF's authority. But ATF is at it again, this time trying to require a citizen selling even a single firearm to obtain a license. Utah is proud to join the 26 states in 3 separate lawsuits protecting the citizens from the bureaucratic overreach. Not only is he involved, Mississippi's involved. General Lynn Fitch, he said that by seeking to treat every legal gun owner as a commercial gun dealer and every gun sale or trade into a commercial transaction, this rule unmasked the Biden administration anti-gun agenda in ways many of its other actions have not. The Second Amendment could never have contemplated this kind of regulation, and it will not withstand scrutiny in the courts. On behalf of the Mississippi gun owners, we are proud to stand with the citizens who have come forward in this lawsuit.
And that's awesome. And you see how many states? That is over half of the country.
And the thing that gets me the most with this kind of thing and with the lawfare is the way that they take things like the Constitution, they take laws and they shift and they move the words around. In this situation right here, there's no shifting of words to be moved around because the Second Amendment says 4 strong, direct, very decisive words that you have no trouble interpreting. It's matter of fact and it's absolute. And those 4 words are what? Shall not be infringed. Thank you. The 40 years ago that they're talking about, Congress condemned the ATF for targeting gun owners instead of focusing on felons. They're not talking about Ruby Ridge or the Branch Davidians, are they? Because in my opinion, that was the biggest. You know, to me, that was when my eyes to what is truly going on in our country. When I watched them, the way they done Randy Weaver and his family, and the way they done the Branch Davidians.
Well, sure.
That opened my eyes.
That opened a lot of people's eyes, and that made a lot of people afraid. It made a lot of people afraid of the government. That's when people really started going, oh, crap.
Yep.
Something ain't right here with this picture.
You bet.
I mean, that was really awful. You know, but the weaponization in this government that's going on right now continues, and it's not going to stop. They're not going to stop. Of course, it's an election year. It's going to get worse. So continue to
Fight, man.
We have to continue to fight.
And stand on your rights that you have. We have a First Amendment right to speak out.
Yes,
we have
do.
a First Amendment right to speak out to defend our Second Amendment right. And our Second Amendment right is there to guarantee that we're allowed to speak out.
That's exactly right. You know, but what's going on? There was breaking news yesterday. Yeah. You know, we've been exposing the FBI, the DHS, the DOJ, and the CIA. Well, there would come out more stuff on the CIA again.
Yeah. Can I give just a little small backstory to this?
You can.
About a week or two ago, James O'Keefe come out with the teaser and the little trailer, that I guess, a teaser, and he said, hey, I got a bombshell report coming out pretty soon. And then all of a sudden, him and Kyle Seraphin on Twitter got into this big round. And the more that we all kept reading it, we kind of thought it was Kyle was trying to create a distraction. That was my opinion in all that. He was trying to create a distraction and pull people away from this right here.
And I wonder why, because he was with the FBI, but he was part of
the intel agency.
Of the intel agency that was going after President Trump.
You bet.
And he did not want to be put in that box.
You bet.
And not just him, it was Stephen Friend as well.
Yeah.
I seen him on there doing the exact same thing.
But
so
Steve Baker too, of all people.
Yeah, what would you're right, Steve Baker, what would these three people who have come out against the government all of a sudden decide this is something they don't want to come out? Why?
I get it. And here is the answer to that. James O'Keefe brought the answer to us.
Yeah. James O'Keefe come out with a video showing now fired alleged CIA contractor saying intel agencies coordinated to hide information from Trump while he was a sitting president. I've been saying this from the very, very beginning, that they did a coup on President Trump. And you know how they're always coming out and they're saying, well, the people around him were the ones that were bad. The people were around him. But honestly, that is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
The people around him are the ones that they were investigating and spying on and finding things on so that they can do whatever they can.
Yeah, the CIA used them as a mark.
Yes,
Yep.
They were marks. Exactly.
Yep. It says here, according to O'Keefe, and I'm fixing to butcher this name, but it says, according to O'Keefe, Amjad Sizem, a program manager working in cyber operations for the CIA and an NSA Gov contractor with a top secret clearance working for Deloitte, was caught in an undercover video implicating the highest levels of the intelligence agencies, including the executive staff. We're talking about the director and his subordinates, former CIA directors Gina Haspel, and I believe Mike Pompeo did the same thing too. He said, what did they do? He said they kept information from President Trump because we knew he had disclosed it. He said there are certain people that would give him a high-level overview but never give him any details. You know why? Because he'll leak those details. He's a Russian asset. He's owned by the Russians.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah.
They say that, they really thought that they have totally used propaganda on all these people to say he's a Russian asset and owned by the Russians, when that is so false. That is a false narrative.
Well, and this is a big bombshell. This is big. This is huge. But if you look back at the history of the CIA, this doesn't shock you. I mean, it shocks me that it happened here. It should never happen here. But the fact of how they're doing it and what they done, God, it's almost, why couldn't you see it coming? Why couldn't you see it? And Mike Pompeo's name's been out a lot in this.
Yes. And see, I thought Mike Pompeo was on the up and up. But come to find out, he's really good at what he does, I suppose. But this Amjad goes on and he says, we monitor everything. We also have people that monitor his ex-wife. He likes to use burner phones.
Yeah. Information that only an insider with access to highly information would have been able to say.
He said, we steal it, the information, and we hack other countries just like that. Amjad, who states he currently works on the CIA's China Mission Center, explains how intel agencies obtain information. He also describes a broken intelligence system where we don't share information across agencies because the CIA is very reluctant to share information with a careless NSA.
Yeah.
This is crazy. I don't know if you guys all remember, but this is just part of more stuff that's been uncovered for over the last year or so. Michael Schellenberger, Matt Taibbi, and Alex Gutenberg have been revealing how the American intelligence community illegally ran a spy operation against then candidate Trump's presidential campaign in 2016. And illegally acquired intelligence that was later used to justify the FBI's official probe of the Crossfire hurricane, which in turn led to a special counsel, Robert Mueller's investigation that ultimately did not find evidence of Russia collusion by the 2016 Trump campaign. Listen to what that says. Did not find evidence of Russia collusion by the 2016 Trump campaign. So here we are. This undercover agent, I guess, or this agent who spilled the beans. This is so funny that they do this, that they get caught doing this, that they're so proud of themselves that they allow that they allow this to happen.
Hey,
it's totally, they're so
maybe
arrogant.
Maybe that's, but with this guy saying this stuff, maybe that's his way of being a whistleblower without being dragged in front of Congress. Maybe that's his way of getting it out there, because maybe he's a lot like with Ed Snowden, a lot like with Julian Assange. Maybe this is, which is them two completely different.
Yes. Maybe
I shouldn't have compared that, but in a situation of
they were
bringing out information.
whistleblowers.
Yeah. Maybe this is his way of bringing out information. And I'm glad that he has.
It makes me wonder, though, because he actually really sounded like he believed that Trump was a Russian asset.
Yeah.
That gets me this.
Because they trusted the system.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, that's because they indoctrinate them and tell them this is a system. You have to trust us.
Yeah.
You have to trust us always.
Yeah. Well, and either way, what they've done is, like you said, they've conducted a coup upon our country. This is a very serious, and it's very disturbing in the light of the fact that you see our government constantly stepping on our Fourth Amendment rights with the FISA bill, constantly stepping on President Trump's Eighth Amendment right, constantly stepping on our First Amendment right, our Second Amendment right. So conservative Matt Gaetz, he's pissed, and he ain't wasting any time getting to the bottom of this situation here. And it says here, and it goes on to read in the pundit, it says, Representative Gaetz has already formally called on the Weaponization Subcommittee to immediately launch an investigation into this bombshell report by O'Keefe's OMG Media Group. And in a tweet, Gaetz shared a copy of the letter he sent to the chair of the Select Subcommittee on the Weaponization of the Federal Government, Representative Jim Jordan. And in his tweet about his formal request for an immediate investigation, Gaetz said that the undercover video that was released only hours ago contains video evidence that American intelligence agencies withheld intelligence from President Donald Trump before and during his presidency and used FISA authorities to spy on President Trump.
And they just passed that again, by the way, because and he said in the interview, in the undercover interview thing, he said they're still spying on him. Still. So what's to make them stop? Nothing. Nothing is going to make them stop.
Nothing. But
well, according to O'Keefe, the official in the video has been terminated per a CIA statement. CIA comment. The official appears to have been terminated as a result of our reporting today. When the CIA was asked for comment, O'Keefe Media received an exclusive statement on the record from a CIA spokesperson today. Here's their statement. These claims about CIA are absolutely false and ridiculous. Let me tell you, folks, do you believe them? CIA is a resolutely apolitical institution that provides intelligence support to policymakers, including the President of the United States. Well, now, what I think is you didn't think he was the president because obviously you didn't give him the information he needed.
They give him the disclaimer because they say, irrespective of who occupies the office. You can't even read this
You
and
can't
not quit
without
and not laugh.
Not laugh.
You can't, man.
And then they go on to say, we are a foreign intelligence focused agency and do not monitor the former president. The individual making these allegations is a former contractor who does not represent the CIA.
Let me tell you something. When you take the CIA and you use them against your own people and your own citizens, which you are never, ever, ever supposed to do, when you make the statement, we are a foreign intelligence focused agency, you might as well take out focused and go, we're a foreign intelligence agency, because what you're doing is weaponizing your government against us again. Here we go.
Here we go. Another one. And O'Keefe does state here in the video, if you watch the video, you can see this, which was taken last week. The CIA official waves his intelligence community green badge. Green badges are specifically hired for those contracted by the agency. Kash Patel, y'all know him. He was former deputy director of national intelligence. He said an individual possessing a contractor green badge is only allowed by lawfully possess it while official employed as a contractor to the intelligence community. There you go. Upon any termination, credentials are returned to the home agency and destroyed immediately. So they fired him for this. They fired him for this. But we've been talking about the weaponization of our government and how all our First Amendment, our Second Amendment, Fourth Amendment, even the 10th Amendment, because they don't let the states do what they want anymore. You know, so yesterday, if you recall, there was a bill that our Congress was going to vote on, and it did vote on, and it did pass. Well, we're going to go over that.
Yeah, this bill is called H.R. 6090. H.R. 6090, or 6090, is called the Antisemitism Awareness Act of 2023, and it's also known as H.R. 6090. It cleared the House of Representatives in a 320 to 91 vote, and it strengthens the definition of anti-Semitism used in federal anti-discrimination laws. What does that mean? What does that mean exactly? What they're trying to do is come up with a working definition of anti-Semitism and put it into a law saying that it would be considered unlawful to speak out against a certain group or a religion or a people who practice a certain religion, correct?
Right.
That's basically what that says. What do you find is the biggest problem in this? It sounds noble, doesn't it? Man, we're going to make this law so that you can't say these things about these certain people, right?
Yeah, but it was real concerning when all of a sudden we had Thomas Massey come out with a statement. Representative Matt Gaetz comes out with a statement, and they're going to vote against this bill. I thought everybody was for this bill, and that's what they wanted, and it sounds so pretty and everything like that. But Thomas Massey, he said he wasn't going to vote on this bill. There's no definition of anti-Semitism in the bill. The bill has a problem beyond violating the First Amendment. The definition of anti-Semitism appears nowhere in the bill.
Okay, so that right there tells you that this bill, even though the wording is there, it's real broad, it's real vague. When you say something that they don't like, they can come after you and call you unlawful and arrest you, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Again, what's the biggest problem with this? In my opinion, what it does is creates another protected class of people. Mm-hmm. Okay. And the biggest problem with that is that our First Amendment reads, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech. Okay. That first section is called an Establishment Clause. And what that means is it prohibits the government from establishing an official state religion. They haven't done that. Or favoring one religion over another. This clause ensures that all religions are treated equally and that the government cannot interfere with an individual's religious beliefs or practices. And on that stance, right there, just like what we're talking about, this is trying to create a protected class of people, the Jews. Okay? First Amendment clearly states you can't make a law. You can't, man. I mean, and I understand everybody's position in this. I do. I understand everybody's position. But if we're going to go with our Constitution, the First Amendment says government can't do this. Because what that does is it creates a protected class of people again. Now you've got this protected class. You've got this protected class. Now what they're trying to do is monitor and come after what? Your ability to speak freely about another person's religion. You can do that. Me and you can do that back and forth.
Right.
You know, me and a Buddhist can sit here back and forth. And that Buddhist can sit here and go, man, you're crazy. Christianity is dumb. It's false. I can sit here and go, hey, man, all you Buddhists, you know, y'all are this, y'all are that, and throw all this out there at them. You know what? That Buddhist has a right to his free speech and his opinion. I have a right to my free speech and my opinion, as long as I'm not bringing harm to that person, threatening that person. You know what I mean? Putting that person in danger.
What they, in essence, did is they made the word anti-Semitism illegal. Because anti-Semitism on its face, everybody knows it's wrong.
Sure.
You know, everybody knows it's wrong. We know that you should not, you know, be
that way. We know that.
Everyone knows that.
But
you know, but you have to regard, and you have to use your common sense. You know, we are in a place in America where we make a law over a word.
Yes. And the bad part about this is it's targeting what? A religion.
A religion.
It is.
That is against America's laws.
That is against the First Amendment. Yes. It's the very first thing in the First Amendment.
Yeah, and we went through the bill too.
Yeah.
We looked at it page by page, you know, and they write in here, well, it's not gonna, you know, it's not a religion.
Yeah.
And they try to puff it.
Yeah.
To where it looks so good. This is what we need. That's what they want you to believe. You know,
Right.
But this bill, I hope someone stands up immediately and puts something on. I mean, like a lawyer, please, an AG somewhere.
Yeah.
Come together and get rid of this. This is not good.
And my fear in this is what they'll do is they can take the vagueness of this law right here, and you can find this law at www.govinfo.gov. Yep.
Yeah, and you can just type in the
HR
6090.
Right. And my fear with this bill too is that because they don't have a definition in there, a working definition of anti-Semitism, and it's all so broad that the leftists will take this shit and turn it on its head and use it against you again. And pretty soon, before you know it, who can't speak out?
Me.
Christians.
Or you.
Or you.
Well, you know, and I found this when we were researching all this. I guess, you know, there's so much going on that you miss little things that has happened. Well, when I was looking, I noticed that this act may be cited as the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act of 2023. Well, I don't know about you, but it's 2024 today.
Yep.
And that means they've had this plan in the works. So I'm a little confused. This has already been an act, obviously, just been in holding. And then we have everything going on at these colleges right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all of a sudden, our colleges are being overrun.
Yep.
And then this bill comes up because, we're afraid now.
Uh-huh.
This is what they do, folks.
Create the chaos.
They create the chaos so that they can make a law.
So that they can bring a solution.
And tell you more of, take a little, just chip away every single day at your Constitution.
Is this thing working?
Rise up.
Well, hey, everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you've learned some things about what's going on around us in the nation and in your communities. You know, we couldn't do this without your continued support either. We appreciate all of you showing up, taking the time to listen to us today. So please, like I say, make sure to hit the like button, share our show with all your friends, We'll see you next time on Is This Thing Working? And as always, I'm James, and that's my lovely co-host over there,
Denise.
and we'll see you next time.
We're out.